Okay,
Yep,
that little button means we're recording.
we are.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to jump on here tonight. And I promise you that the information that you're going to hear will make you think. Someone obviously cared enough about you to reach out to you and invite you to hear about this. And we will do the best we can to respect your time. So tonight, I'm going to start just with my story and how this came into my life. So Mel is a friend of mine since we were in grade 5-ish. And she reached out to me a few years ago because I was in a, let's just say, rather dark period in my life. I lost my dad when I was 30, and that put me into a depression, which is something that I had never dealt with before, and I wasn't sure how to deal with. Things in my life weren't great, and I wasn't sure how to turn things around. I don't think that I was the nicest person to be around. I definitely, like I said, I didn't know how to deal with it. So I started writing. I tried to do many things. I took antidepressants for a while. I never really liked the way they made me feel. I was always kind of looking for something that would be an alternative, but Mel just reached out to me at the right time. She asked me to come and listen to a presentation for something that she had become very passionate about. Oh, somebody's trying to get on. Sorry. I can't get the link. Yes, just started. Okay. So she reached out to me at a time when I really needed something, even though I didn't know it. I was a bit naive to my own position. So she put the information in front of me, and I took it home for about 4 months, and I did my own research on it. I wanted to look into this myself. And basically what I did is I put it on the back burner. And that was in September. And about January, I essentially hit rock bottom. Things in our business were not great. My depression hit the final lull. So I reached out to Mel and I said, you know what? I'm basically at a point now where I feel like I have nothing to lose. So why not? So from there, my journey began with biohacking my body. It has changed things in my life. It brought me to the point where I'm at now. After about 3 weeks into taking the product, I noticed my sleep improved. I noticed that my energy was lasting into the second month of taking it. I noticed that my attitude was starting to get better. Things were becoming more positive because I had energy, which just generally puts you into a better mood. People around me started noticing my mood was changing before I even noticed it. And I had people complimenting me on a glow that was starting to come out. And it all had to do with the fact that things in my body were changing, and I didn't really know how to explain it. But it definitely made me want to continue to have this in my body. So without getting too much farther into this, I want to explain exactly what I mean when I say I started biohacking my body. This is what we're going to talk about, the process of biohacking. The term basically just means that we are able to hack into our biology to optimize its potential. Right now, what's currently happening in your body at this time is we are being hijacked by oxidative stress. Your genes are currently manifesting health, or your genes are manifesting disease, where your body is not in a state of ease and not healing. What we want to do is put our body in a place of healing, both mentally and physically. And we have the ability to do that if we understand the process. Everything you put into your body has the ability to affect the outcome. If you understand the science and strategy, you will see why it's so important to integrate this into your life. The process is called Nutrigenomics. This is a branch of nutritional genomics and is the study of the effects of food and nutrition on gene expression. It's an understanding of how a combination of natural foods and herbs can turn on key switches in your body to either manifest health or allow your body to express dysfunction, or what will eventually turn into disease. This is being looked at in every branch of medicine you can consider, from cancer treatments to athletic performance to brain health. The personal health market is a $600 billion industry because it's centered around prevention and treatment of disease, where you no longer need to supplement your body, and instead you can activate it in a way that can truly change the way your genes can be expressed. So I'm not sure if all of you have seen this ABC Primetime Investigative Report, but I do feel it's really important to start with this because essentially that's where this all began. So I'm going to run through this.
The following is an ABC Primetime Investigative Report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments, they have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. So the result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
And turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me? But what about my products? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%. That's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
At the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old to find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim...
The following.
Jeepers. Okay, sorry. I stopped that about 5 seconds too early. Either way, what he's saying is it doesn't need FDA approval because it's being sold as a supplement. So from there, you will understand that an ABC Primetime Investigative Report does not usually end up with a positive outcome. So as you can imagine, once this aired, showing that this scientist had in fact discovered an enzyme or pathway in the body that could release antioxidants within our body to reduce free radical damage, reduce oxidative stress, and after hearing of John Quinones's oxidative stress levels were reduced by 45% in just 2 weeks, things blew up. Based on pure speculation on what they heard on the ABC report, over $5 million in sales came in overnight. The stock rose from $1 to $20, but the problem was they were a small biotech company, and this researcher and scientist just didn't have the infrastructure in place to fulfill those orders. From there, they tried different forms of marketing and the product to see which would be the most effective. They did head-to-head between storefront, but the problem is the product was placed on the shelves at general nutrition centers next to vitamin C. So this bottle saying that it reduced free radical damage, priced at $49.99, was placed next to a bottle of vitamin C priced at $9.99, and nobody could explain what the difference was. So they hired a marketing director and they asked Dr. McCord if he would consider direct sales, person-to-person business, so that this could be explained. But he didn't want to do that. So they did head-to-head for 1 year with the direct sales model outselling the storefront model by 300%. So in 2009, they took the product off the store shelves and LifeVantage was essentially born. That's what brought us here today. So you can imagine after all this happened, researchers and doctors from all over the world became interested in studying our products because they knew of the harmful effects of oxidative stress. So they said, if your product actually reduces oxidative stress like it says it does, we want to study this against other diseases. So you see on this sheet, there's prestigious universities, even the American Heart Association and pharmaceutical companies that have started to conduct their own peer-reviewed studies on the NRF2 pathway in which Protandim works. So if you were to go to pubmed.gov, which is the National Library of Medicine, where studies are published, all doctors and researchers go to for information for studies, you will type in Protandim and you will be able to find 27 peer-reviewed studies on this product. That is significant because there's no other plant-based product as a whole that you can type into PubMed and find peer-reviewed studies on. You can find ingredients, but not a product, a plant-based product as a whole. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mel, and she's going to talk about oxidative stress and what in fact it does for the body.
Okay, awesome. Can everybody hear me all right? Yep. Good? Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, I just want to explain a little bit more. I'm going to teach you some terms maybe that you may have not heard of, but these are terms that you're going to start hearing a lot more of in the coming future. So what is really oxidative stress? it's really an overload of free radical damage at the cellular level. So if you look at this apple here on the screen, if we were to set an apple out on our counter, it turns brown just like that. Well, why is that? Because it's oxidizing. Air is hitting it and it's starting to break down. This same thing is happening to all the cells inside of our body as we age as well. So what causes this to happen, and why should we really care about this? So everything that we do in life potentially causes damaging free radical damage, leading to oxidative stress. From just breathing alone, just taking in air alone causes oxidative stress. Eating herbicides, pesticides, GMOs, processed foods, these all cause free radical damage leading to oxidative stress. What we put on our skin causes this. Our phones, EMFs, radiation, emotional stress is a huge one that causes this. So why do we really need to care about this? Why should we be concerned? Well, think of it this way. We are made up of trillions and trillions of cells, right? That's what we're made up of. And our cells make up our tissues, and our tissues make up our organs. And when one area of our body becomes overloaded with this oxidative stress, it could start to look like a heart attack, or it could start to look like psoriasis or kidney disease or arthritis or lungs, in our lungs, COPD, asthma. The brain is very, very susceptible to oxidative stress. So it could be Alzheimer's, OCD, ADHD, autism, migraines, strokes, autoimmune diseases, chronic inflammation, MS, lupus, with the blood vessels with atherosclerosis. Bleh, that was a hard one to get out. Diabetes. There is over 250 diseases and health-related conditions directly linked to oxidative stress. So this is why we want to make sure that we can keep this low as we age, so we can be proactive and hopefully not develop these things as we age. And if we do have these conditions going on in our bodies, keeping that oxidative stress low and at bay is going to help with the progression and the severity of these health conditions. Next slide, Jess. Okay, so what are some solutions to reducing free radical damage and oxidative stress? So if you look on the left side of your screen, we've always been told that it is crucial that we need to eat a high antioxidant diet. And that's true, we do need to eat a clean diet because we need that for good, clean energy for our bodies. But what most people don't realize is when taking in antioxidants, eating them, or taking in supplementation antioxidants, they work at a 1-to-1 ratio at getting rid of the free radicals in our bodies. So the best way I can explain this to you guys is, let's say we eat a serving of blueberries. That's going to probably neutralize about 5,000 to 6,000 free radicals in our body, which doesn't sound all that bad, right? But if I were to tell you that we have about 13 sextillion free radicals bombarding our body at any one time, that 5,000 doesn't sound so great anymore. So whereas we've come to find out, but I'm not saying that we shouldn't eat our foods, these good foods. We still need these foods for good, clean energy, for our vitamins and our minerals. I'm just saying our foods are just not equipped with these antioxidants to put that fire out in our body. It would be like throwing a Dixie cup on a house fire. It's not going to happen. Whereas now we've come to find out with science and research that we can actually turn on our body's own ability to fight free radicals with NRF2 activation. And we can neutralize then with our body's own antioxidants 1 million free radicals per second, every second that this NRF2 is activated in our bodies. So let's talk a little bit about NRF2, because this is probably something that people aren't familiar with at all, but you will start to hear more of it. So NRF2 is a protein messenger, and it is in every single cell of our body. And what scientists are calling this protein, they're calling it the guardian of the cell. And so what it does is it tells the cell what the cell needs to kick out that day to keep the body in balance and in a homeostasis state. And so when we're young, Now, there is exceptions when we're young, that there is some children that this NRF2 is not functioning the way it should be. But in most cases, like myself, when I was young, this NRF2 protein, it was telling my cell what I needed to keep me healthy, to keep me growing. So I broke my ankle when I was young, and I recovered really, really quick. That's why kids recover really, really quick, because it's telling the cell to say, oh, boss, we need to kick out a lot of anti-inflammatory enzymes. We are overloaded. And so the cell will do that. But what happens is, at the age about 25, we stop growing and we start to slowly age. And so what happens is this NRF2 stops communicating as well with the cell, and our bodies start to come out of balance slowly. And that's where we start to become overloaded with that free radical damage, and that leads to oxidative stress and cell damage. So now we know through the study of nutrigenomics that we can biohack and wake this process back up, turn this switch back on in our bodies to bring us back into balance again, like we were when we were a child. And when we do that, that's how we can lower oxidative stress in the body. Next slide. Are you frozen? Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get into Protandim itself. This is what they talked about. This is our flagship product. This is really what started our LifeVantage company. So let's talk about Protandim itself. It looks like a regular supplement that you would see on store shelves, but it is not a supplement. This is an activator. This activates that NRF2 protein in every single cell of our bodies. And when it does that, it has the ability to lower oxidative stress by an
Mel, we just lost you. Okay, that's okay. Until she comes back, I will take over. So as she was saying, this has the ability to reduce oxidative stress in your body by 40% in the first 30 days alone. That's a proven study, like you've seen in the ABC video. This is the only supplement that is clinically proven to do this. So there was actually a 10-year federally funded study done by the National Institute of Aging, which is a division of the United States government. They did this study. They included a bunch of different supplements and vitamins. I can't remember exactly which ones were included in it, but in the end, Protandim was the only natural product that was proven to extend lifespan. It was by 7% in male mice. So that tells you something about how important this product actually is. The studies that continue to come out on this blow me away. So NRF2 helps to regulate your body's survival genes. As we talked before, it tells you whether to express your good genes, repress your genes. It puts you into healing mode. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen, the NSF label basically states that what is in the bottle is exactly what ingredients are listed. That is a stamp of approval stating that what you see is exactly what you're getting. There's nothing else hidden in this product. The BSCG stamp means that it is approved by the Banned Substance Group, so it is safe for athletes to take. Oh, she's back on. Let me see if I can unmute her. You've got yourself muted, Mel. Okay, we'll keep going. It is approved for athletes. In fact, there is a lot of athletes. There is rugby players that play on the American rugby team that take this. There is former Olympic athletes that take this. This will never interfere with a blood test because they're just herbal ingredients. And again, this is where I really need Mel because she is my master. I'm going to keep going. So if there's an NRF2 pathway, then there must be an NRF1 pathway. So the NRF1 is actually the pathway that holds the mitochondria. So mitochondria is everywhere in your body. That's the energy in your cells. And when people say that they're feeling tired, it's because their mitochondria are damaged. Taking NRF1 actually, oh, boom, she's back.
I'm back. I don't know.
Perfect timing.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
see me?
I can
it doesn't
hear you
matter.
and see you. Okay, I finished up with the NRF2. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I'm sure you did a great job. And people can ask questions at the end. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
Apology. Oh,
I just
okay.
went to the NRF1, so take it over.
Perfect. Okay, so we talked about the NRF2 pathway in the body. There's a protein NRF2. So obviously if there's an NRF2, there's going to be an NRF1. And so our NRF1 protein in the body is designed to help upregulate and also repair our mitochondria in our cells. And so you might be thinking, what the heck is a mitochondria? So mitochondria are our little engines inside of our cells. And they give us energy to do every biochemical thing that we need to do in the day. So it is really, really important that we want to upregulate our mitochondria, because we have, in some cells of our body, we may have a few hundred mitochondria, but in the cells of our brain, we have hundreds of thousands. In the cells of our heart, we have hundreds of thousands, because these are major systems that power a lot, generate power for a lot of our body. So we really need to make sure that we have our mitochondria regulated and repaired as we age. Because think about it, guys, when we age, why do we start to get tired and sluggish? It's because these mitochondria, these little engines, they're dying out. Just like a car, if we don't change the oil in our engine, they blow up. Well, it's the same thing. If we don't start to repair our mitochondria, they die off. And so I could go on and on for other reasons why we want to protect our mitochondria, but just one more thing that I want to explain to you why mitochondria protection is really, really vital is that our mitochondria also protect the DNA of our cell. And so we don't want our cells becoming mutated, because we know when cells become mutated, that's what leads to cancers. That's what leads to disease and stuff. So if we can upregulate these mitochondria and repair them, we can also protect that DNA of the cell. And so other things that you will feel naturally when you upregulate and repair your mitochondria is you're obviously going to have just more energy all around. You're going to have a whole lot more clarity, mental clarity. That brain fog will lift. You're going to get REM sleep, that sleep that a lot of people don't get, but it is vital for us to have that, because that's when our body heals. So, and like I said before, it helps our cells to communicate good with each other. So if I can just quick tie it back to why NRF1 and NRF2 is really, really important to take together, because your NRF2 activator is going to protect your outside of your cell from that free radical oxidative stress damage, and your NRF1 is going to protect those mitochondria and build them bigger and better. So you have a full whole cell structure protected and working at optimal level. All right, next slide. Oh, that one's you.
The joys of technology.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't get myself unmuted. Okay. Thanks, Mel. I tried to wing it while you popped off there, but you definitely know what you're talking about when it comes to NRF1 and the mitochondria. So I love having you explain that. So now we're going to jump into our probiotic, simply because we are hearing more and more about gut health and just how important it is to so many different aspects of your body. Your gut is actually your second brain. It has its own nervous system, and 80% of your immune system is in your gut. But why is our probiotic so unique? It has 6 different strains of probiotic. It has a patented technology in it that allows it to very slowly release. That's called Biohacking technology, which is actually a step forward in the probiotic supplementation department. It allows higher amounts of organisms to get through the stomach acid into the intestinal tract and release them in a timely manner. Biohacking actually forms a gel barrier which protects it from the stomach acids and allows 60 to 70% of the probiotic tablet into the intestinal tract. They actually did pH testing in acid at 2.5 for 30 minutes to test the durability of this probiotic to get these proven numbers. It also has Wellmune, which is a patented formula to support optimal digestion and immune system function, which boosts the immune system to create tight junctions in the gut. This will prevent from leaky gut issues.
Okay, so back to me, and I love explaining this product because this is also one of my all-time favorites. So this is our clean energy drink, and it is actually designed for the brain. So when I'm not talking energy, obviously, that gives you the jitters and gets your heart pumping. This is like brain food. So what's in it is, we call this Axio, obviously, and what's in it is we've got niacin, magnesium, your B vitamins, monetary pine bark, there's more. DMAE is in this, and these all cross the blood-brain barrier, and they work on the neurotransmitters to wake them up and get them fiery. And so when our brain is awake and that mental clarity is gone and that focus is there, you feel that energy, like you feel energized when your brain is awake. And so that's why we call it an energy drink. It has no sugars in it. It is sweetened naturally with stevia, and it comes in these little satchels that you just pour into your water bottle and go, but tastes amazing. So very quickly, I want to just explain this, the picture beside on this. And this was taken by a chiropractor that belongs in our organization. And this was his nephew, and his nephew was struggling with a lot of focus issues. And so they decided to put him on NRF2 and Axio for a week. And you can see the comparison of his writing. So it's absolutely amazing what the body can do when it is given the right tools. And just taking that stress off the body and waking those neurotransmitters up and just getting things firing and working at all cylinders. What can actually happen. So pretty awesome stuff. I love, love, love Axio. Okay, so this was a study actually, because we are science-based and we have a lot of third-party studies happening. This was a study that was conducted by Washington State University, and this study was done back in 2015. And they were studying the NRF2 pathway, because this is where science and research and medicine actually right now, they're laser focused on these pathways in the body. And so they did a study on it, and I just want to read you their conclusion to their study. What they stated was, NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That is a massive, huge statement, and that gets me so fired up about what we have. And to my knowledge today, Protandim is the most potent, all-natural NRF2 activator on the market right now. So incredible, incredible statement there. And so a lot of you may be thinking, well, is there pharmaceutical NRF2 activators out there? And there is. There is actually 3 that are on the market. There is one for ALS. There's one for just came to the market really recently. It's for kidney disease. The name of it's lost me. But the one I really want to talk to you guys about tonight is an NRF2 activator for multiple sclerosis. So this was a study that was conducted by Biohacking, that's the pharmaceutical company that formulated their pharmaceutical NRF2 activator. They knew about Protandim, and they contacted LifeVantage, our company, and they said, we hear you've got a natural NRF2 activator. We would like to do a head-to-head study with our pharmaceutical and see which one comes out performing the best for treating MS. And our company said, sure, absolutely, go ahead, you can study it, no big deal. And I just want to read you the conclusion to their study here. Sorry, it's on my phone, so it's a little bit small, but it said the conclusion to their study was, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most was the most potent inducer and therefore may be most suited for a therapeutic strategy. Now, let me tell you, I don't think they were expecting this to happen in their study, because they don't ever want this study to see the light of day. To have a nutraceutical outperform their pharmaceutical that they spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to bring to market. But they had to publish this, and you can find this in the Multiple Sclerosis Journal, or Jess or I can give you the full study if you're interested in looking. But this is a huge reason why Jess and I are on here tonight, because I feel like people deserve to know that there is other options out there. And this pharmaceutical drug, you can go look up their side effects. It's scary. It's scary. And some people may not even realize that they have options. So that's why Jess and I are on here tonight, to educate people that there is other things out there for you to try. So next slide.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back over here. This one here is actually fairly new to me. So I'm just going to read you what it says and try and break it down. This is another study. And again, we continue to have these peer-reviewed studies. When we say peer-reviewed, this is outside companies spending their own money to study our product, or to study the NRF2 pathway and what it can do. So all of these studies that continue to be published just simply validate what we have our hands on. So the Oregon State University study said when it finds a problem, NRF2 essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus and rings the alarm bell, where it then turns on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens, protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and all other actions. In their report, the scientists called it a longevity assurance factor. So again, if that doesn't pique your interest, I'm not sure what will. It really essentially, like I said in the beginning, I was in a time in my life where I thought that my pharmaceutical antidepressant was the best that I was going to get. And I was fully prepared to accept that until this was presented to me. So the changes that I've seen and the changes that I've seen in other people is why Mel and I have become so passionate in choosing to put this information in front of other people. So with that, that closes out our presentation for tonight. I don't know how to get this back up to see everybody. I'm trying. There we go. Technology.
Do you want to stop the recording? And
I
then
will stop the recording. Thank you all for jumping on. And once the recording is stopped, we will happily answer any questions that anybody has. Yep, I just need to